Hello everybody, it's Miss Winfield here, ready for today's maths. So let's kick off with a rewind, okay? So my problem is Ruben had 12 sweets. Damien gave him 5 more, okay? So Ruben had 12 and Damien gave him 5 more. So I've picked out the important bits of information. Okay, Ruben had 12, Damien gave him 5 more. How many sweets were there altogether? So if I'm going to use my number line, now I've just drawn one quite roughly today because I've forgot mine, oops. But if I was going to use a number line to help me, where would I start? So I would start at the first part, okay? And I've got part, add part equals whole. We are looking for the whole. So I'm going to start at my first part, which is 12, okay? And I'm going to jump 5 times because I'm going to count on and add 5 more. So can you tell me when to stop? I need to do 5 jumps to add 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've landed on the number 17. Okay, so that, whoops, I was going to write 15 there, silly Miss Winfield. That must mean that 12 add 5 is 17. But let's check using our fingers. So I'm going to put 12 in my head and I'm going to count on 5 more. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so I've used a different method to check my answer. So let's see. There we go. I started at 12. I counted on 5 times because I'm adding 5 more and I landed on 17. So what are we going to do today? We are going to add by counting the ones. We are going to add the ones, okay? And we're going to practice some new learning. And we are doing this so that we can add a 2-digit number, okay, to a 1-digit number. So for example, a 2-digit number, you might have the number 16. It's a little bit like a digraph. It's 2 numbers, okay, put together and they make 1. So that is a 2-digit number, because it's got 2 digits in it, and a 1-digit number would just be something like that. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So let's have a look, because we have got 2 steps to success. Okay, so step 1, we are going to add together the ones. Okay, ones, add ones. We are going to add the ones. And step 2, we are going to add the tens to the ones. So we're going to add the ones first, and then whatever number we get, we are going to add that number to the tens. So let's have a look. So step 1, I am going to add the ones. So for the moment, I'm just going to ignore this group here because this is a group of 10. Okay, this is 1, 10, but I'm not focusing on the groups of 10 right now. I'm focusing on the ones. And can you tell me, looking just at this side, how many blue dots can you see? So I can see 1, 2. So I'm going to add my ones. 2. And how many green dots can you see? I can see 3 there and 1 more. So I know that 3 add 1 is 4. So let's add the ones. What is 2 add 4? Put 2 in your head and let's add 4 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 add 4 is 6. So I've done step 1. I've added the ones together. Let's see if I did it right. 2, add 4 is 6. So it looks the same. I've added the ones. And now step 2 is to add the tens. Okay, so how many groups of 10 can you see? How many? Well done. If you said you can see one group of 10, here it is. I've circled it, or I've put a shape around it. I have got one group of 10. So I've got 10, and I'm going to add that 10 to the ones. Now, I don't need to count the ones again because we've just counted them to make our addition a little bit easier. And I know that it's 6, okay? So now I just need to do 10, add 6. So if we think back to prior learning and think about when we have tens and ones in a place value grid, I have got 1 10, there it is, just one. And I've got 6 ones. There they are. Okay, so my number looks like this. So the answer is 16 because this number 1 represents my 10 and this number 6 represents 6 ones. So let's have a look, see if we got that correct. 10 add 6 equals 16. Okay, so we're just adding the two values together by starting with adding the ones. Okay, because it just makes our addition a little bit easier when it comes to adding the tens. So step 1, we are going to add the ones. So we're going to ignore the group of 10 for now. Okay, we're going to ignore the group of 10 and we are going to add the ones. A little square. There we go, so you can't see that. Let's look here, okay? We are going to add the ones together. So I can see 5 blue ones and 1 more. So 5 add 1 is 6. So I've got 6 ones here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in a different colour, I've got 2. Got 2 more ones. So I've got 6 add 2. Put 6 in your head. 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 ones all together. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my tens. So I've started off by tackling the ones, okay, and now I'm going to see, oh, how many groups of 10 can you see? How many groups of 10? Step 2, add the tens. How many groups of 10? Well done. If you said you can see one group of 10, there it is, one group of 10. And I'm adding my ones that we found out the total earlier. I've got 10 add 8. Okay, so again, let me think about my place value of those numbers. I've got 1 10 and 8 ones. So my answer is 18 because this number 1 represents one group of 10 and this number 8 represents 8 ones. Let's move the box out the way. There we go. So you can see I've got 6. 6 add 2 is 8 and then 10 add 8 is 18. So it might seem a little bit tricky at first, but once you get used to adding the ones first, it becomes very, very easy, okay, and quite simple to do. So let's have a look at this one. The first thing I need to do is to add the ones, okay? So again, I'm going to ignore the tens. I'm going to ignore them because right now I want to focus on the ones. And I can see 1. There it is, look, 1 blue one. And then I'm adding to it 2 green circles. So I've got 1 add 2. Well, I know that 1 more than 2 is 3. So that's super easy. Okay, and now I can do step 2, which is to add. Oh, camera's being a little bit silly again. Step 2, add the tens. How many groups of 10 can you see? I can see 1 group of 10. There it is. So I'm going to include my group of 10, add it to the ones that I worked out earlier. Now then again, let's think place value. Let's think what those numbers actually mean. I've got 1 group of 10. I've got 3 ones. Okay. So 10 add 3 is 13 because this number 1 represents 1 pen and this number 3 represents 3 ones. See if we got it right. So let's move the camera up a little bit. 1 add 2 is 3. Yep, we've added the ones first in step 1. And then step 2, we've added the tens. 10 add 3 is 13. So we got that one right as well. And I don't know about you, but the more that I'm doing this, the easier it's getting for me. So it just shows that lots of practice really does help. Okay. So now it is going to be your turn, okay? And you are going to have this sheet on Class Dojo. You can either print it off, you can edit it on your app, or you can just write the questions down in your book, okay? But I want to see if you can work these out by adding the ones. So let's do the first one together, okay? So your problem is 12 add 6. Here it is. We're doing this one here. Yeah? So I'm going to represent 12 using my 10 frames because that's what we've been using today. There we go. There's 12. 10, 11, 12. There's 12. And I'm going to add 6. There we go. Can you see that? So I've got 12 in black, and then I've got 6 green circles. Okay, so I'm going to try and get these all on the camera as well. Just bear with me. There we go. So my first step is to add the ones. So I'm going to ignore my 10 for now. Okay, I might even just push it out the way a little bit. I'm going to push it up there and I'm just going to focus on my ones. Oops. Oh dear, I'm not having much luck with cameras today, am I? So let's focus on my ones. I can see 1, 2 black ones, and then I've got some green ones. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 2 black circles and 6 green ones. Let's put 6 in our heads this time because when we are adding, it doesn't matter which way around the parts are. So I'm going to start with 6 and I'm going to add 2 more. Ready? 6, 7, 8. 2 add 6 equals 8. So I've done step 1. I've added my ones, okay? And then I am going to include my 10 from earlier. I'm going to include, let me see if I can pick it up. I'm going to include my group of 10. So I've now got 10, add 8. Okay, I've got 10 and I'm adding 8 more. I wonder what that could be. Let's think. Place value. 10s, 1s. I've got 1 group of 10. Here it is. And I've got 8 ones. There they are. So my number altogether, I've got 18 because this number 1 represents 1 group of 10 and this number 8 represents 8 ones. So I would love to see some of this working out as well. So maybe you could print the sheet off or write it down or however you're going to do it. But then in your books that we have given you from school, you could show me your workings out. So you could show me that you are adding your ones to begin with, and then you could show me step 2 where you are adding in your 10s. Now I'm going to go right back to that slide with the steps on. Here we go, this one. And I'm going to leave that there in case you wanted to pause the video. So step 1, add the ones. Step 2, add the 10s to the ones. Okay, so I can't wait to see all the amazing things that you create And yes, I will see you all later.